Hello and welcome to SHOWBIZ. We haven't done a SHOWBIZ for ages.
Haven't done a SHOWBIZ in yonks.
And we've missed it, to be honest.
Well, we do miss having a bit of a laugh and a bit of a sort of, I don't know, voyeuristic look in the world of kind of, it's an odd world, SHOWBIZ, isn't it?
And we never like to be mean.
No.
We don't want to be meanies. This isn't a meanies SHOWBIZ thing.
Gossip kills.
Yeah,
really
this
does.
is just more, they're usually people that we love and we find quite amusing.
The thing I like about these little films is there's a lunacy at the edges of SHOWBIZ where I think it's quite safe to have a bit of a laugh, but not really necessarily what's happening in people's lives, because that's real. But I do think the way the media rushes at stories is very, very funny.
And the headlines.
The headlines.
So funny.
So,
Will Smith hit 225 pounds after overindulging on vacation.
Well,
Family called him Pudge Muffin.
Well, okay, so I saw you talking about this story. Now, I'm a big Will Smith fan. You're not.
I am. Stop always saying that. I just find him a bit childlike to believe it's a grown-up.
So what's the story here? Is he
So
fat?
I love this story because it's just... Now, I don't know if any of you watch Below Deck. I watch Below Deck, which is...
Every single time you get a chance to mention this show, you do.
Yeah, which is all about what goes on these cruises, you know, these super yachts and below deck, basically. Anyway, why this is relevant is because Will Smith and his family were 10 days on one of these yachts.
Oh, right.
Now, these yachts have these amazing chefs that will cook 24/7. I mean, you see it on Below Deck. They just get woken up in the middle of the night and they say something like, oh, they want American pancakes with, Swedish bacon. So basically, Will Smith says for the entire 10 days of this holiday, doesn't sound great for the rest of his family, I have to say, he would get up and he would eat, I can't remember, I think it was something like 4 of these muffins.
Doesn't sound a lot.
They're probably huge, this is America. And he probably had 10, probably just knocks it down a bit. Have a Moscow Mule and then go back to sleep. And he did this every day for 10 days. Anyway, he got the fattest that he's ever been, 225 pounds.
Right.
He hated it.
Right.
So he came back and decided to go on a 10-day fast.
Right.
And after 4 days was very ill. He's been on high blood pressure tablets all his life.
Right.
Went to the doctors and they said his blood pressure was dangerously low.
Oh my God.
At which point he thought, now his wife has to eat very particular things, otherwise she gets an upset stomach.
Right.
His daughter,
Willow,
doesn't get hungry, and the boy,
Jaden,
went vegan. And the family had to do like this.
They sound a mess food-wise.
Yeah, had to do this mini intervention because he wasn't eating enough protein. So Will Smith suddenly realised when he went to the doctors and his blood pressure was suddenly low.
Right.
He thought, oh my God, have I been taking blood pressure tablets for 10 years? Not because I've got high blood pressure,
but because I ate too many muffins.
But because I wasn't eating properly.
Oh.
So he realises that his whole family are in a bit of a crisis about food and don't really understand food. So this all happened at Jada Smith's Red Table Talk, which is massive.
Wow.
And so they got a nutritionist interventionist to come in
on the show
and teach them about food. Yeah.
So the moral of the story is, if you go on a really expensive luxury yacht holiday, you're probably going to get eating disorders.
Well, I don't know about that.
Or it's going to showcase your eating disorders.
I mean, I've seen the photos. We can put some up now of Jaden, and I mean, he really did look unwell. And I think this is the case for a lot of people that. If you eat well as a vegan, oh my God, you can eat so well. What I found about this really interesting, and I'm a real advocate of this, is that Will Smith has said that he realised, after actually not knowing anything about food, that he ate food like an addict.
Right.
To quote him, I love food, but I realised my relationship with food was that I ate for fun, for joy, if I got bored, whatever.
I'm a bored eater.
I started to eat, I realised I'm a grazer. I put something in my mouth every 30 minutes throughout all the day. And this is a really important thing, and it's great. When we hear women talk all the time about food, when a movie star, it's so important because it's a big deal for men as well.
Yes.
So I think this was really brave of them as a family actually to talk about this.
And am I right in thinking they're a family that's already engaged with ideas of addiction? Isn't Will Smith's wife in recovery?
I believe I have read that she's in, but I think that they were super worried about Jada. Jaden, yeah, because they said he was looking absolutely great and wasting away.
Was he going the colour of a stem of broccoli?
Maybe. Interestingly, because today doctors are calling for obesity to be Now, for us not to refer to people as obese people, but a person with obesity, and that it is not about willpower. It's a deeply psychological thing. If you think about it, it's the very first thing you're given right when you're first born is food, milk.
Absolutely. Okay, well,
I think it's great when families that look so perfect, that have it all, they're beautiful, they're wealthy, they're multi-talented, they've got record deals, movie deals, book deals, TV deals, and yet they're going, do you know what? All of us are struggling with this.
And the funny thing about all this is that when Will Smith popped out of the genie's lamp in the last new film of Aladdin, I did lean over to Maddie and say, he looks like a pudge muffin. He looked like he put on a bit of weight.
We've just said all of that, and then you say a thing like that.
I'm saying it affection. No, he's right, because if the family...
It's very sweet that the family said that.
Sometimes you can pussyfoot around things, and sometimes when I've gone overweight, people have to say to me, you're looking like a right old fat bastard. One of the big stories this weekend was the Emmys, and at the Emmys, obviously, Phoebe Waller-Bridges scooped up about 36 Emmys. Michelle Williams' acceptance speech has been sort of hailed as the best speech ever. So much so that Reese Witherspoon went onto Twitter and said, is there any way Michelle Williams can win an Emmy for her Emmy acceptance speech, which is lovely.
I love Reese.
And she used her acceptance speech to really throw a spotlight again over the inequities in female talent in Hollywood and pay. I mean, Michelle Williams' specific backstory was on a recent Ridley Scott movie, I think it was All the Money in the World. It was less what they were paid for their actual performances, but it was what they were paid when they were called back in for reshoots. She was paid something like, and it's not an exaggeration, 1% of what the men were paid. So where they were paid 100,000, she was paid 1,000 or £100 and they were paid 10,000.
And you know, the thing is, for the male actors, they don't know this.
No.
That's the thing. I think a lot of people get confused. All these terrible male actors. It's like what we've had here with the BBC and the male presenters. They don't know because contracts are all kept very. Don't tell anyone about contract.
Exactly.
I want to break through with that. I want all showbiz people to talk about their contracts so we can break these terrible disparities. Between.
Men and women,
and not only that, men and women of colour, which is another thing she brought up.
Absolutely,
wasn't it? Yeah, but a great speech.
And
you know what I loved about it? It wasn't schmaltzy. It wasn't showbizy. It was really authentic.
Which links nicely into your story, because at one point Demi Moore was one of the highest paid, not women in Hollywood, but actors in Hollywood.
Was she?
Yeah, she actually had a nickname. What was her nickname? Her nickname was, I'm just going to find it for you. Gimme More, Demi Moore.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of Demi Moore. When I was younger, I think we're about the same age. Yeah, she's a couple of years older than me. What a beauty, first of all. And yeah, like you say, a real powerhouse. I didn't realise that she was paid the most, but a real powerhouse in Hollywood. Again, appeared to have it all, you know. God, do you remember how massive... What's her husband's name? Bob Willis.
Bruce.
Do you remember how massive... Bruce Willis
was. He was massive, wasn't he, Bob?
You know, because he had that great TV show, didn't he?
Moonlighting.
Oh, Moonlighting.
Yeah, with Sybil Shepherd.
And oh my God, it was like, I loved Demi Moore. I had like a proper girl crush on her. And then she was with Bruce Willis and they had a beautiful home. And they had all the beautiful kids.
St. Elmo's Fire and all that sort of stuff.
St. Elmo's Fire, she was gorgeous in. And then I loved the... what was the soldier movie she was in, you know, and she worked out, a grafting one. I actually, and of course then it went on, there were some very sad parts to her life when Bruce and her split up, and then she went out
She struggled with addiction,
Thingy Coocher, and then being left by Thingy Coocher, massive problems with cocaine abuse and and alcoholism.
Was she the one who appeared on the front of a magazine pregnant, naked?
Yeah, and everyone tries to do the Demi, but no one can do the Demi.
I can do the Demi.
No one can do the Demi like Demi. Ooh, God, look at the size of that fly.
Just landed on your hand.
Oh my God, it's an alien! Jesus!
Fuck me, kill it.
So, and I always had thought that she was sort of Hollywood royalty. I thought, probably her dad was a producer and her mum was a casting director.
Right.
So I was really surprised to see this story today. It was an interview that she did on Good Morning America, talking about her autobiography. And her mother was an alcoholic. And from a young age, she would take Demi out to bars and all sorts of places to attract men. How awful.
Really?
Anyway, she tells the story.
Her own daughter.
Yeah, and then she tells the story of one night they were in their house, a man comes in with a key, rapes her, leaves $500 for her mother.
What?
Says to her, how does it feel to be for $500? This is the first time she's had sex. Demi was asked on Good Morning America in this interview whether her mother had sold her for sex. And she said, I don't know whether it was that kind of a transaction, but put it this way, deep in my heart, my mother gave him access to the house. So her mother was in the house.
Bloody hell.
Yeah. So first of all, incredibly brave of her to tell this story. I feel quite emotional telling it.
Oh, sweetie. Oh,
sorry.
That's all right.
Just maybe I'm just looking at a beautiful face there, and I'm thinking, so often we see people that we think have it all and can make so many judgments about them.
Yeah.
I mean, actually think about that. Being toured around bars, and then a man is given the key and comes in and rapes you. And this is what she's gone through. And she says that she really questioned why she did this book. It's not about ambition and everything, because she's achieved everything. But she did, I suppose. There's this funny thing about saying things out loud. And I hope people don't attack her for talking about this, because I think it's incredibly brave. And it makes me just love her even more, that actually she comes from a completely different background than I thought she did.
I think the danger with all these things, though, is that when you know someone is on a press push for a product that they're selling, you always run the risk of them being told, or the suggestion being that, why are they airing their dirty laundry in public at this point?
I don't think that.
I don't think that, but I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Yeah, I realise that, but she's telling her story, isn't she? Yeah. Which, let's face it, we are fascinated to hear.
Like you say, you see people in the public eye, you look at them on that pedestal, you think, they've just got everything, and you make judgments and assessments about them. But they are just human beings, and they've come from often very ordinary backgrounds. Yeah. And the other weird thing, a little bit like with footballers and what have you, a sudden stratospheric rise to success is very hard to deal with. It's not just easy. Okay, well, this story again, the Emmys. I keep going back to the Emmys, but apparently, did you see Gwyneth Paltrow's walk onto stage?
I wanted to show you this because I wanted you. Come on, let's have a look at it. Let's show you guys too.
Let's have a watch.
So here she comes walking down. Now, Twitter and everything went crazy about this. It was a much longer walk than it should have been. It's a very odd walk. I'm wondering whether she'd steamed her vagina earlier on in the day.
I think it looks like she's tied her ankles together.
Or is it just that the dress is too tight? It doesn't look that tight. Or maybe the heels are too high.
She couldn't walk.
I've done that before, where I've gone to an event and the dress is too long, and so they keep putting you in higher and higher shoes because the dress...
Yeah.
But anyway, everyone's been having a lot of fun with
that. What is the general consensus? Let's have another look at it.
Well... People have been calling it the gloopy, because of her, the gloop walk.
What's the gloop?
Because she's got this website which is worth millions. This is where she sells all her.
Yeah, she definitely hasn't got enough room to move her legs.
She has. I know what it is. Watching it again, it's the heels. Comment below. Why do you think Gwyneth is walking the way that Gwyneth is walking? I read an article with her recently, because there's been a lot of Mickey taking about steaming vagina and putting magnets inside your nun and all of this.
Steam a vagina?
Well, it's just, you're not supposed to steam a vagina.
So why does she do it?
Oh, I don't know. But the thing is, she has said, fill your boots, because every time the media goes crazy and takes the piddle, sales go up massively. So she actually really does enjoy, I think, the jokes and stuff from this interview that I read. Why are you looking like that? You look really weird.
Have you ever steamed your vagina?
I knew you were going to ask me that. Do I look like I've steamed my vagina?
Well, I don't know what it means. What does it even... Give us a sense of what...
I don't know, I suppose...
You must know. You and your female friends must have talked about it.
I have no desire to find out what steaming vagina...
Do you stand in a kitchen with the kettle on?
No, don't do that. People will really badly burn themselves.
Do you go into a shower room and strip off?
I don't know.
Does anyone know what steaming the vagina is all about?
Maybe you could try steaming your penis instead.
I have. Oh, what a surprise. Kourtney Kardashian.
Oh, this is a good one.
Oh, sir. It's a goodie.
Now, I am an aficionado on all things Kardashian, and this is interesting. This is a story about Kourtney Kardashian and her husband, Scott Disick, having a bit of an argument with Corey Gamble.
Who's Corey Gamble?
He is the half her age boyfriend of mom manager Kris Kardashian. So basically, Kourtney has spoken on the show about how their nanny left her employ because their daughter Penelope scratched the nanny on the face, and the nanny has left. Right. So Corey Gamble said, if she scratched my face, I would whop her ass.
Right. So almost so stepdad is telling Kourtney.
No, it's not stepdad. It's her Oh, it's not really a stepdad.
Yeah, but kind of, because he's going out with his mum.
Yeah, but it's not really.
Yeah, no,
they're the same age.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get the family tree sorted in my head.
Yeah. So, Courtney and Scott flip. Scott's like, you'd whip my daughter's ass. Yeah, I'd whip your daughter's ass, wouldn't you? And I've watched the clip, and really...
Can I watch the clip?
Yeah, go on.
Let's watch the clip.
You would whoop Penelope's ass if she scratched you?
I would give her a spanking for sure.
My daughter?
Oh, he's
What are
back.
you talking about?
Scratch me
You
in my
would whoop
face.
my daughter's ass if she touched you?
No, scratch me.
A little 6-year-old girl?
You
harm
said
a
I
kid?
would whoop her ass if she
ever-
scratched
That's how anybody talks about disciplining a kid. Whip their ass.
We're never going to agree. I completely think he should have yelled at you.
But that's fine, but that's how I wouldn't even talk about
But then you were
I feel a
yelling
bit sorry for you.
We have it on camera. You were then yelling at me. If anybody wants to have a relationship with me, they need to know how to communicate.
So apparently Kim Kardashian was also at the table, and Kim Kardashian just carries on like playing with the food and says, I don't think he really meant it.
I don't think he really meant
what
it.
he was doing was saying, you know, and
You need
some
to
people
discipline.
do believe in smacking children. We don't.
No.
And I don't think he was saying he will definitely smack their child's bum. Anyway, this one will roll on and on.
Will it? I need like a family tree emblazoned on my forehead of the Kardashians, so I know everyone.
Ask me a question about the Kardashians.
How many are there?
Of Kardashians?
Yeah, just Kardashian women. How many? Are
Kardashian women, including the mum?
there? No,
They're off, not including the mum.
No.
3.
3. Just 3. Why are there so many
Because
bloody
there's 2
names
Jenners.
then?
There's 2 Jenners.
Oh Christ! That's what I mean.
Kendall
see?
and Kylie are Jenners.
Get all that stuff. That's just getting far too complicated. Okay, final story for me is Renee Zellweger is everywhere because, of course, she's playing Judy Garland. She's being tipped for Oscar success, believe it or not, for Best Actress playing Judy Garland. She opened up in an interview with CBS Sunday Morning saying that she doesn't remember most of her 30s. Now, there's not much more to this story other than she just doesn't remember most of her 30s. And I just thought it is kind of interesting, isn't it? If I think back to my 30s, well, actually more my 20s, it went in an absolute blur.
I don't remember anything.
Well, no, you don't. Do you remember your 40s? Are you remembering your
Little
50s?
snatches of it.
She's a funny character. Does she sort of splits people. I don't know what to make of Renee Zellweger. There was that time where she sort of disappeared from view for a while, came back completely transformed physically and everythingly, and someone mentioned cosmetic surgery and it all went a bit pear-shaped, didn't it? And now she's emerged this sort of smoking, sort of sultry, different
She's reinvented
person.
herself again.
Can you lose a decade? I think you can.
I've lost all the decades. I think that's because I just choose to, though. I like to just be here now. I don't like nostalgia. Nostalgia makes me sad. So I just stay in today.
Maybe if you're staying today all the time, yeah, your life, bam, it's gone. You're already dead,
Yeah.
aren't you?
Yeah.
I mean, today's gone. Anyway, well, that was our showbiz little pull together roundup. Don't
Happy
you?
showbiz. Please, if you like our channel, hit the like button and the subscribe button and the notification button.
Absolutely. And if there are any showbiz stories that come up that you'd like us to respond
Yeah.
to or like us to have a little response to, tell us.